Marky Mark is pushing his way through. Rakendo's right there with Selfie, then Strata Lady. Great line up here. Marky Mark's got the lead from Rakendo's trying hard. Our Rocky's flying late, but it's Marky Mark's day.
The last two-year-old Group 1 of the season, the Sires Produce Stakes at Awapuni, taken out by Marky Mark, trained by Moira Murdoch and ridden by Leith Innes. Good evening and welcome to Weigh In. The lads are here to discuss the week that was, and Butch is the manager of Leith Innes. I'm sure the winner Marky Mark has put a smile on your dial. Good evening. Yeah,
it was a special win, Darryl. Look, Leith rides under contract to Brendan and Joe Lindsay, and a very special win for him. He's didn't have all the luck last time at Ellerslie, but to do what he did, and he put them away the last little bit too, was dominant, and it was it was a great one.
Paul Shola's here, and Twiggy, you were down there. Atmosphere was good, and some good racing as well. Good evening.
Yeah, it was super, Darryl. Look, we had some great results through the day, and like you said on the before, it was a great crowd, and the track played beautifully too, which was good to see, as opposed to our South Island little dismay we had.
Well, it's like Groundhog Day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Hey?
Yes, it is.
It's just like every second week we have to talk about it.
Yes, yeah. And we will talk about it in a little bit more detail later on. Now, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can via facebook.com/weighinshow, at weighinshow on Twitter, or you can email us as well, weighin@nzracingboard.co.nz. Here's what's coming up.
Coming up tonight, the horse they call Scooter proved he is certainly back to his best, pushing his earnings past $800,000 with another stakes victory. And his trainer John O'Benner will join us later in the show.
Vespa's ranged up though, he's grabbed the lead, he leads by a length and a half going towards the line, he's back big time, Vespa.
Marky Mark has been a model of consistency throughout his short career, and after a stellar ride from jockey Leith Innes, the Macfie gelding proved superior in the Sires Produce. Trainer Moira Murdoch is no stranger to Group 1 success, having prepared Solvit to win the 1994 Cox Plate, and she has been kind enough to join us.
Moira, good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. When you went down there, after the Diamond Stakes, as Butch said, not everything panned out down there. So what sort of confidence levels did you take going down to Awapuni and going left-handed for the first time?
I wasn't too worried about the left-handed because we'd been to Rotorua and that's much tighter than Awapuni for the trials. And the horse had actually trained on really well from the Diamond. He was actually fresh into the Diamond after a little spell, and I was much more confident for the Sires. It was what we'd chosen as his race, the most suitable race for him, and it panned out.
And Leith got a gun run, didn't he, from the draw?
Just got a lovely run, yeah. He just was doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, at this point you must have been going, you know, if we can just have an ounce of luck here, it's all over.
Actually, a lady stood up in front of me and I couldn't even see.
Did you hit it with your handbag?
She was bigger than me. And then I popped around the side of it and I could see his little blaze there, and I thought, he's still got his face through the gap. He's getting through the gap, yeah.
He's always given you indication more that the 7 furlongs was going to be his perfect trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, he's actually really relaxed during the running of the race. Leith said he always just does exactly what he asks.
Yeah, they ran along at a solid tempo, almost like Leith alluded to the fact that he had him out of his comfort zone just a little bit going down the back, didn't he? He was just stretched and really off the bridle for a bit, but sign of a good horse. He still managed to sprint in the straight and attack the line the way he did.
He's a competitive horse, Moira, isn't he? We saw it on debut at Ellerslie, Untamed Diamond, I think the horse of Richard Collett's, and he got superior to her late in the race. Then again on New Year's Day, and got quite tight there in the running at about the 200 when he got through, but he pins those ear back and heads to the line hard, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's really seemed to step up when he actually got to race day. His trials were fine, but they weren't anything special, and I think the race day atmosphere he actually thrives on.
You trained Mum as well, my Marie, and she was stakes placed, I think, right at the end of her career, wasn't she?
A different kettle of fish, a typical Testarossa hothead.
Yeah.
Always loved to get back into races and get all the bad luck in the world. It's nice to see him getting on the job.
And what's he like around the stable, Moira? Is he a lovely, relaxed horse?
Yeah. I mean, he has his moments, but he's quite intelligent. He learns quite quickly.
He's not overly big, but geez, everything's in the right place, isn't it? He looks like he's going to furnish into a medium-sized little battleship.
Yeah,
exactly. Would that be fair?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he's ever going to be big, and he's very short-coupled, but he's going to be a real
Strong.
bull.
How far do you see him going? Do you think he'll stretch out to a derby trip more as a
I
three-year-old?
don't know about that. I'm sure he'll get 2,000 metres, but you know, his racing manners might help. He might just squeak that last little bit.
He almost looks like he's waiting for them here like when he's hit the front and put a length on them, he half pricks one ear and he just looks like he's toying with them a little bit.
Yeah, he did get away that last little bit as well, but I think it got tight, he got through, and then Leith said he was sort of, you know, where are they? Is this over yet? Have I done my job?
Yeah.
And then to the line.
Yeah, Leith said he still had more in the tank, which is quite exciting.
You've trained some nice 2-year-olds. Where does he sort of sit in the scheme of things?
Oh, right up there.
Yeah, after you've won a Group 1, I guess.
Was that a trick question, Daryl?
It's pretty popular at the moment.
Springs to mind.
Yeah, so right up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he go to the paddock now? Sorry, Daryl.
Yes,
he in
he's out in the paddock now. He went over yesterday, came home to our place Saturday night, and Fiona came and picked him up, and he's at home in the paddock.
So the immediate aim, you would think, what, to 2,000 guineas?
Yeah, I think we'll go to Hawke's Bay in the spring in the 1400 and see where we go from there, really.
McPhee's first Group 1 too, worldwide?
Yeah, it's really important that these horses step up to the plate and get those Group 1s. Yes, he's a shuttle stallion. He had a pretty good start in the Northern Hemisphere, or a very good start, but for him to get that Group 1 down here, that'll be really important to the Moira, won't it?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly from Westbury's point of view, they were pretty excited.
Yeah, I bet you they will.
Jerry will be wrapped.
Yeah.
Other runs of the race, I thought every runner pretty much had a chance, maybe with the exception of our Rocky, who just had no luck running fourth.
Yeah, I thought our Rocky was super.
Yeah, he went a good race.
Yeah, and I spoke to Mark Forbes after the race, and he said he'll go to the paddock now and also target the 2,000 guineas as well. And, he's done a great job, Mark Forbes, and he's got a good young team of boys behind him there, and Alex and Colin there. In Cambridge, they do a great job with their horses, and they've got a small team, so good on you, boys.
Second and third, and fourth, there's not much over them. They're Ricando's gone super from the draw, you know. He had to use some petrol. He raced up on the speed and never gave it away. Selfie would have to be disappointing though. Look, I thought it had a nice run in behind the speed. Opie, as he does, presented him at the right time. He got off the rail at the right time. And momentarily, he looked like he was going to go bang, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't not the Selfie we saw at Matamata.
No, at Matamata, you thought getting to 1,400 metres at Awapuni was going to be perfect, and just no.
Maybe he's just come to the end of it as a 2-year-old. It's a very thin line that you run with a 2-year-old, isn't it?
Just on that, Moira, this horse being a homebred, Brendan and Joe bred him, he wasn't eligible for the Cracker Million. Now, that whilst it's $1 million there, it must also, in a lot of ways, mean that path to the Group 1s is less cluttered. You don't have to worry about that $1 million race. You can aim up at the two Group 1 races.
I think so. Yeah. It must affect them, you know, having to do that as well. And I think, you know, it's testament to some of those other horses. They've done a bit more racing, and they're still lining up.
Yeah, he'd have to be in line for 2-year-old of the year this horse now, wouldn't he? With
you would think so.
He's won a Group 3, a Group 1. He's run fourth in a Group 1. So
yeah. No, you'd be right up there. Third horse was very good, Reminisce, wasn't it?
Yep.
Very good.
Again,
yeah. She wound up
pretty much run the same race she has every time she's gone around, but she'll come back as a lovely 3-year-old.
Just going back to Marky Mark, before you took him to the trials, had he shown you plenty at home?
He'd shown enough, yeah. Like we thought he was a pretty nice little horse, but he's not a big track worker. He just does what he has to do. Yeah. Yeah, he's fairly laid back around home.
All right, good.
Did you always have your hand up for him, Moira, having trained the mum? You know, with Brendan and Joe, a lot of horses, and Barry gets some at the property. There's some go to Roger James, but you always put your hand up for him.
He just always appealed, right, from the first time he popped out. He had a cheeky little face. Yeah.
Don't say it, Paul. I know what you're thinking.
Most young colts do.
Race number 9 on the program was the Awapuni Gold Cup, and Moira, you had King Cravan in here after the impressive win at Ellerslie the start before. What was your assessment of the run?
I think he was a little inconvenienced by the muddling pace, and then he just takes a while to get out here because he does like a bit of space. He's a big, long striding horse, but he found the line really well at his first effort in a group race.
That's him really stretching out the last little bit centre track here. So where does he go from here?
Still making my mind up. Yeah, have to talk to Leith's agent.
Is he a miler off a hot speed?
I think he might be.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought that might be what you were going to say. Yeah. Do the wallet track back from 2,000 to a mile.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the winner, Imishwara. Really good
It's
at
not.
Ellerslie, and a Group 1 winner at its prior start. So, gee whiz, that was pretty dominant in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a gun ride. Look, she covered no ground. She got the right run up on the fence. She got the split at the right time. But he's just keeps slipping under the radar, this horse. He's getting better and better and better. And the more he races, the more he seems to want to race and the more he seems to be dominant. Look, he's carried the one saddlecloth. He's given them all weight and he's given them a beating. What can you say? I've underrated him. I know many have, but that's a great effort. Tony Kay, well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I certainly underrated him too. And he was hot on the day, the horse. He was in muck lather and he looked wound up and you'd think, geez, maybe he's come to the end of his prep, but
Nah.
clearly not.
He's gone up to 105 in the ratings, and from all accounts, he's going to head to the Easter handicap, and so he'll carry top weight there. That's shaping up a pretty good race.
Yeah, it is going to be a good race this year, the Manco Easter. The fact that it's moved out, the recommendation of the pattern review was to shift it back a week so that it meant that the mares could race 2 weeks after the Group 1 at Te Araha. I think that'll benefit both races. I think we'll see all of them line up at Te Araha this week, and then we'll see many of them line up again in 2 weeks. That hasn't been the case in the past. So it'll be a hot race. He'll be at the top of the handicap if that's what they choose to do. And why wouldn't they? His run 2 starts ago at Ellerslie was really good. So, yeah, he'll be very, very, very competitive, you would think.
Well, he'll be there. He hasn't missed a dance yet, so he won't miss this one, that's for sure. It's the biggest one to go to.
They might be looking for a rider, though. Of course, Lisa Allpress, I believe, is heading to Japan this week.
I don't reckon they'll struggle to find one.
No.
There'll be plenty with their
Michael
hand up.
McNabb's available if you want to give me a ring, Tony, but I doubt my phone will be ringing.
All right, coming back to you, Moira. Tell us about your operation. You obviously train at the beach. Tell us about the operation out there.
Yeah, we truck to the beach each day. It's only 5 minutes, and we do 99% of our work there. The young ones go to Pukekohe, of course, to do a little bit there, but most of it's done at the beach, or if we can't get there, we just work them at home on the farm.
So how many would you have in work at any given time at home?
Around about 24, 28. Yeah, that's pretty maximum.
Yeah. And they all, what's the advantage of taking them to the beach and galloping them in a straight line?
It's black sand, iron sand, so it's a very even, perfect surface, if you like. Good pentrometer. Probably 3.
A consistent pentrometer.
I tell you what, you're probably the best track manager in New Zealand.
Yeah. He gets a bit wayward sometimes.
Yeah. He just doesn't prepare it in time. Occasionally you have to work around the tides.
Yeah, that's the one.
And how did this the relationship with the Lindsays come about? Because that goes back a number of years, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I think the first horse I had for them was a mare called Mine Dior, who had foot problems, and she came out, and it was just slowly built from there.
Yeah.
No more deserving of a Group 1, Moira. Look, you would know better than anyone else how much they put in and how big the investment is, both at the farm at Karaka, which is just of an amazing standard, a mind-blowing facility, but also in the bloodstock. And it must have given you an amazing thrill to be that first Group 1 trainer for them.
Oh, it was just tremendous, yeah. And, you know, it's not just the investment, it's the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
They just absolutely love it. They both just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had that lovely third in Melbourne on Friday night, and they just got a huge thrill out of their weekend.
And a weekend like that will be why they do it, won't it? Because
well, it is.
They just love it, and then to get those rewards.
Yeah, and I don't think you can't quite describe the feeling of your horse being the best, you know, and just the thrill that people get out of it. And it's what sets racing apart from any other sport, really.
Yeah. Well, like you say, they certainly do it for the enthusiasm, because they wouldn't be doing it for the prize money. Not for the amount of money that they put into the industry, would they?
No, it's a massive investment.
And for people like them, look, we need to be very appreciative of people like that.
And their investment seems to have got quite significantly bigger in the last 18 months, 2 years, or you just see the colours more and more, don't you?
I think the volume's starting to come through, the breeding program that they've sort of set up, it's just starting to come out now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young ones?
A lot of young ones, yeah.
It's exciting for you.
Yeah, very.
You got one trialling tomorrow, haven't you?
Yeah,
and
lovely
Barry's
Manhattan Rain filly.
Barry's got some trialling who trains on the farm, and Roger has some as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's a great thrill.
When we think of Moira Murdoch, we think of Solvit. Still the best horse you've ever trained?
Yes, he is. He's still at home.
Yeah? Is he still at home?
Yep, he's 26, 27 in September.
Wow.
Yep, he's great.
This must have been an amazing day. Just an incredible day, this.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Did he run second in the Cox Plate as well, Moira?
He ran second to the Phantom Chance.
The Phantom Chance, yeah.
And Walshy said he thought he had it won, and then he heard something like a freight train coming. It was the Phantom Chance. It was actually Aurora.
And, I think and Reading ran third that year, didn't
Yep,
it? That was a
Reading
New Zealand
and
trifecta.
Elko, yeah.
Something had a crack at him there too. What ran second? They had a
Oh,
real
Rough Habit.
Roughy, yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Roughy,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was Ross Elliott, I think.
Yeah, it
on
was.
Rough
It
Habit.
was Ross Habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his reins were just about round
They were.
Walshy's neck.
Yeah, they were.
You would have tried anything. What made him special, Moira?
I guess because he was our first sort of superstar, but he was.
But as a horse, what
he was
what
a
set him
very,
apart?
very quirky little horse, but he just had a massive will to win.
Yeah.
And he had a very high cruising speed, but he could just ping off his cruising speed.
So that suited the Valley.
Very much so,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he wasn't never very good right-handed. He got better as he got older, but he just loved that left-handed. He hugged the rail like
There's
a
not
bunny
many with
rabbit.
better clocks than David Walsh
I was
either
just
when
gonna
you're
say
doing
the
that.
same
is
thing.
he?
No, absolutely.
Hey, well, thanks very much for coming in. Congratulations again with the Group 1 with Marky Mark, and obviously we'll be watching with a lot of interest through the spring. So thanks again and congratulations. Moira Murdoch with us here on Way In, and as we go to the break, Butch Aero Velocity giving the Kiwi breeders and the expat Kiwi trainers, we'll call them, Paul O'Sullivan, a big buzz in Japan last night.
Yeah, for sure. Look, this is a really special achievement for the New Zealand industry, with Paul doing the training, coursed by Pins, bred by Windsor Park Stud, with Nelson and Steve Till doing the breeding and being by the Waikato Stud Stallion. Pins, look, Paul O'Sullivan had a few options with this horse, chose the Japan option. Never been won by an international horse this race before, let alone a Kiwi, as we'll claim. And he's got the job done on a track that's deteriorated as the day went on. Reading the reports, Paul wasn't comfortable where the horse would be with the track, but you can see Zach Purton looks to come out into the middle of the track, and then we'll hear the last part of the call and see his customary fight. He was called Nice So-So Warrior in New Zealand, and he was the warrior to get this job done.
Sun Moon at the 250 metre mark. Mickey Isle on the scene, and Aero Velocity there as well. Sun Moon leads the moment from Mickey Isle. Jack Purton getting desperate on Aero Velocity. They've got to catch Sun Moon. Aero Velocity jumping out of the ground. Aero Velocity goes to Sun Moon. Hong Kong gets up and wins.